Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk. Today's episode is quite different from the other episodes because in today's episode, this is more of a raw type of approach. I didn't have anything to talk about, but I had my mind fired up. So I fired up my laptop and I started recording. So in this episode, you'll see how I process my thoughts and my emotions, and hopefully you can learn something along the way. So for the next Wednesday's episodes, I will be restarting the hashtag Ask Alex Show. So if you want to be a part of that, then you gotta be on the live stream. I would love to hear your beautiful voice or your beautiful story. And just ask me a few questions and I'll upload the best questions or the best one on the Wednesday's episodes. So I'll be going live on Facebook and on TikTok. You can ask questions there, and I'll be able to answer them as well. Be a part of the show. That's going to be amazing. I'm excited for that. So every Thursday, I will be going live at exactly 7 p.m. So if you are interested in joining that, follow me on TikTok and on Facebook at Alec Cuenca on Facebook and at Small Talk Podcast on TikTok. And yeah, if you like this or if you don't like this, let me know. And yeah, let's head on to the episode. Enjoy. Hey guys, welcome back to Small Talk, small conversations with huge impact. My name is Alec Cuenca, and today's episode is quite different from the other episodes because in this episode, I just basically want to express my thought. I'm doing that for most of the episodes, but most of them are structured, right? And I already did this a couple of episodes back. It's called Real Talk, where I just speak or talk about anything at the top of my head. And right now, I am drinking a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's a wine. I'm drinking a glass of wine, and it's past midnight. And I just can't seem to sleep, so I decided to record. Maybe my mind and my heart, they want to talk about something. And I wasn't able to sleep last night for, I don't know for what reason, but I took some melatonin. It was past 2 a.m. and I needed to sleep. Not just that I wanted it, I needed to sleep, but I couldn't. And so I asked myself, why is that, right? I'm doing very well. I am going hard on my personal development. I'm training my body. I'm training my mind. I am fixing my finances. I'm fixing my shit. But there's this weird thing that keeps me up at night. And the thing is, I don't know what it is. I don't freaking know what it is. And I decided to record this. Maybe I could get something out of it. So if you're listening to this, I don't know if it's going to make sense, but I hope you stick around. Maybe get a few quotes or a few thoughts along the way. But I think one of the major problems that we have is that we're all forced or we're all coerced into becoming something. Like there's this image of what success should be like, what a happy life should be like, but none of them are like, most of them are bullshit. Most of them are just not speaking the truth. And, I've been reflecting, I've been thinking about it, and it's crazy that we distract ourselves with so much things, so much, I don't know, so much work just for us to not deal with the things that we're supposed to be dealing with. And thinking, what, where is this coming from? And I think that's a question that a lot of us should be asking. Every single time that we wake up and we feel that it's not like the best thing ever, or we're not motivated, we're not inspired, we just don't see any reason why to go forward with life, I think we should ask that question. The thing is, everyone is trying to heal with their traumas. Even the best people, like the people that we look up to, they're all trying to heal from their traumas. They're all trying to figure it out, and you are no exception. We are not exception to that. Regardless if you're a coach, you have a lot of accomplishments, you have a lot of them. It doesn't matter. You're trying to heal from something, and I think that unless we actually take the time to deal with these things, those are the only times that we can actually move through it. And I'm not going to say move on, because you know what, moving on is it's hard. It's hard. Like moving on from something that's been a part of your life, a part of your truth, a part of this journey that you're on, that you only get to experience once in your life. And people are expecting for you to just move on because the past no longer serves us. But every circumstance that we were in, it's a part of us. And I honestly think that we shouldn't move on from that. We shouldn't move through with that. We should move with that. With that kind of situation that has happened in our lives, because whether we like it or not, those are moments that defines you, makes you for who you are. And I'm not saying that you can't be better, you can't be different. You can change, and you will change. But all I'm saying is every part of your life is a moment that transforms you, especially the parts and the moments that hurt you. I think there's a lot of things that we can uncover from the hurt that we're feeling. I've talked about this a lot of times, like the pain that we're dealing in this world, it's constant. The people like to joke about it. Like there's 3 things that are constant in this world, like change, death, and taxes. And I believe that 100%. Not with the taxes part, but pain is something that we can't change. Death is also something that we can change. Change is something that we cannot change. But a lot of us, and sometimes even myself, I don't want to face it. But I guess the real transformation begins when you start to walk towards it, towards that truth, that everything is just appearing and disappearing. We're on this one huge story in life, and everything is just a chapter. Something appears, something disappears. Something ends, something starts. Something closes, something opens. It's the way of life. We die and babies babies come out of this world. It's a cycle. And our egos, that's our main problem. Our egos want to think that we're one of a kind, we're special, but no, we're on the same boat. We're all on the same boat of living this one life that we have. Whether you believe that there's an eternal life, that is something that you're going to experience after you've lived this world, this life that you are in. Unless if you're, a believer or follower of Buddhism, you'll get reincarnated in some way. But if you're a follower of, you believe in the heaven and hell concept, like that thing's gonna happen, but you still have to go through this. And this is something that you only go once. You cannot go back in time. You cannot try to skip your chapters. This is it. You get to experience life for what it is in this particular moment. And our ego doesn't want that. Our egos want to think that we're meant for, we're more special than other people. That's what our ego wants. But we gotta learn how to strip the power from it. And how do we do that? How do we let ourselves walk towards truth of change, and death. How do we strip off our egos? I remember a book. It's called The Power of Now, and I think I should reread it again, but I don't have it here with me, and I think that's really gonna help. But I also haven't read and finished the book Ego is the Enemy. It's hard. It's hard, but that's life. If you want to have or to move through the next chapter of your life, you gotta close the old chapter. You gotta skip. You gotta turn the page. You gotta close that chapter. You gotta read the final statement and then move forward. You move on. You move through with your story. But we don't want to do that, and that's resistance. Resistance to the flow of life. Resistance to the river. The stream of river that will lead us to ultimately where we belong. Whether you think it's a good thing or a bad thing, the things that are happening to you, whether you think that it's a good thing or a bad thing, it doesn't matter. We're all connected into one complex but straight line that goes through a cycle every single generation. And so we gotta learn how to strip our ego as fast as we can. Because that's the only time that we can actually face the truth. And I think Buddhism practiced this as well. Don't get attached. Don't get attached. And that's something that I've been dealing with. I lost my long-term relationship a year ago. It was back in January, almost February. And you know what I did? I gave 110% in trying to fix what's broken, trying to numb the pain by hyper focusing on my goals, on my dreams, and my personal development, which is good at a certain extent. But I've actually had this realization when I hit, when I celebrated my 25th birthday. All of the things that we are working hard on, or trying to distract ourselves, or using as a tool to distract ourselves, it will be worthless. It will be empty. It will be meaningless, because all of them will become a hollow victory if we just try to focus on our bodies and our minds. We need to take care of our hearts as well. We're not just thinking beings, we're human feelings, not just human thinking, human feelings, human being. And the fact that you are here, you are alive, and that means you're being. But you gotta get out of your head. You gotta just don't hyper focus on your goals and achievement. Make sure that you check on your heart. And maybe that's just what I want to say in this episode as well, and a great reminder for me as well. Have you checked your heart? Even if you work out, even if you drink 8 glasses of water every single day, even if you take vitamins, even if you eat healthy, if you don't take care of your heart, then all of it will be useless. Dadalhin natin yan hanggang sa pagtanda. We will bring that for the rest of our lives, even if we don't consciously bring it up, if we don't deal with the traumas or like the issues that comes with the experiences that we have, then it's going to be worthless. It's going to be useless. We got to face it. That our heart needs to be taken care of. And this is something that I don't think people can give that to you. If you have that mindset, then you're going to be disappointed a lot of times. But you got to understand that you can only do that for yourself. You can only give that to yourself. No one else will. And that's not just to try to feed your ego. It's surrendering. Surrendering to life, to the flow of the river, to the flow of life. And so check on your heart. Are you dealing with something that you haven't talked about or expressed, or allowed yourself to just go through the process of feeling it? If you haven't, then this is the perfect reminder for you to just check in with your heart. I know if you're listening to this, you might be a self-improvement junkie. You are addicted to progress. You're addicted to self-improvement. But I don't just want to leave this podcast like that. Like, to people achieve their goals. Of course, I want to help people achieve their goals, but I also want them to live a full life. A life that is alive, if it makes sense. Because if we understand that we need to heal from something, and we acknowledge it and we accept it, that's the start of transformation. And it's gonna break us apart. The truth will always set you free. But first, it's really gonna piss you off. And so understand that when you're trying to take care of your heart, you built this fragile eggshells covering your heart. And when a piece of it cracks, that's when it will be most painful. The longer you hold on to it, the longer you glue everything together, like everything's perfect, everything's okay, everything's good, the harder it will be for you. The more pain and the more hurt that you're going to feel once that cracks, even just a small bit. But you gotta understand that when that hurts, then that means you're opening up yourself to a better truth. When we experience pain, it's like a caterpillar going into metamorphosis. We cloud our hearts, we shield our hearts, we build up our walls and try to, separate ourselves from other people, turn off our emotions, but eventually it's still fragile and it will break. And once the break happens, you will get hurt. And that's okay. Because that hurt will actually start the cycle of change. So ask yourself today, how's your heart? Because my heart, it's better. But there's still a lot. There are a lot of things that I need to heal from. And maybe only then that the success that I've been seeing will be worth it. And so that's going to be my assignment for the week. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent. I'm not like heartbroken or something like that. It's just I accept that there are certain parts of my heart that I'm trying to build up. That's why I'm covering it. And I need to crack it up right now. And let life and love and light pass through it. Sabi ko nga sa tattoo ko, the tattoo that I have, it's memento mori. A lot of people get mistaken by this phrase. They think that memento mori means, you're remembered that you're going to die. That's the translation. But what it means is remember that you're going to die. Remember that you're going to die so that you can remember that you are going to live. And it's not you, YOLO and doing all this stupid shit. It's about you slowing down, checking in on yourself, asking yourself, is the thing that I'm doing right now what matters to me? Because if not, then I'm just distracting myself from the truth, feeding my ego. And so, when you ask yourself today, or tonight, or maybe tomorrow, how's your heart? You also remind yourself that conversation is exactly what you need for you to finally face or subscribe to the idea that we are gonna die. But not in a scary way, not in a depressing way. It's more of a liberating way. A key, a chance, an opportunity for us to be alive, like fully alive, not just mentally alive, not just physically alive, but spiritually alive. When you stop feeding your ego, you start feeding your soul. And you can begin that with asking that question: how is my heart? So, I don't know if I'm going to post this. We'll see. But cheers, first and foremost. I'm taking my last sip. And I like to do this, share my thoughts. I have a gift of, breaking down my thoughts into very simple things that people can relate to. And I hope that you guys could relate to the things or shit that I've been saying. And it's kind of different. It's kind of weird, but this is a side of me that I also want to show to you guys. A side of me that really enjoys wine. And a part of me who always asks questions. Who wants to know the truth. Not just people's truth, but the truth of the world. And I think that's my mission. But before that, again, I need to check in with my heart. And I'll update you guys, whatever answer I come up with my head. But for now, I'm going to end this podcast. Sorry if it's a little bit down or something. But I hope that I know most of the listeners, most of you guys, you like to listen to podcasts that inspires you or motivate you, or you listen to this in the morning, and that's okay. That's okay. As I've said, these are raw emotions, these are raw thoughts, and these are raw podcast episodes that just want to talk about a different layer of truth that we rarely talk about. So yeah, you may like this, you may not like this. I'll be going back to the regular programming on Wednesday. But yeah, if you like this one, then send me a message. I don't know. Send me a message and let me know your thoughts. I would love to talk about the things that I talked about here in the podcast episode. And yeah, thank you for listening, and good night. I'll talk to you guys next episode. Bye-bye.